VC Wisdom Pod / Founder Wisdom Pod, because we have both with us today. Julie Leroy is with us. Julie Leroy, actually it's Julie Leroy. Roy is like from Quebec, so Julie Leroy. Leroy in English. I guess you're getting that sometimes. So I'm gonna pronounce it both ways. Julie, really glad to have you on. Julie is a co-founder at G Ventures. She's actually helping students to get their feet wet in the VC world. So that's really cool. That's what we're gonna discuss about today. We're gonna discuss the startup ecosystem in France and in Paris more precisely, which Julie is really deep into. Before we do, this podcast was presented by podpire.com, which is my podcasting company. If you want to start, scale, or be invited to a podcast, podcasts are amazing tools to learn, to connect with amazing people, to get subscribers, to get sponsors, and even to get clients. Podpire.com if you want help doing that. Julie, really glad to have you on. Can you introduce yourself and tell us about your companies?
Hello, Charles. Thank you so much for the invitation. So, yeah, my name is Julie Leroy in French, and you can say Julie Leroy, yes, in English. I'm the co-founder of G Ventures, which is a student VC from France. We detect and invest and support the ambitious student founders in France. Why we do that? My co-founder and I were students before. And we built startup, and we were also in a student organization for entrepreneurship, which is national. So we were like surrounded by students. We are surrounded by people who helped us, and we wanted to take everything that we have learned as student founders, as program managers, also for student program like Paris Dauphine Incubator at Station F, and use all this learning to help other student founders.
Quite interesting, your background, because I see you started organizing various hackathons and events. Why did you decide to start that? What did you learn from your time organizing so many cool events?
My first entrepreneurial journey started with events, because when I was a student, I had an idea and I wanted to develop it, because I went to a lot of events during my studies, because I wasn't at my place in the school, and I wanted to learn more, and I wanted to meet people. So I just went by myself to some events. But the first anecdote is that I went to startup events because I wanted to practice my English. So I went to an event for when there were startup pitching in English, and like through events, like I met people, I learned the process. So when I had the idea, I just like used the process I learned. So I did the landing page. I started to build a community, and the first match I've made, because it was a platform for people who want to practice English while dating, not in real English, but practice languages while dating. So I've built this landing page, and I tried to reach my first circle, and I asked a friend if he wants to try my idea, and he told me he's Brazilian and he wants to practice Portuguese because he thinks that he will reconnect through the language with his roots, because he never knew his family. So I matched with a Brazilian woman from Brazil who will come after the match, like 3 weeks after in Paris. So I wanted to do this first match, so to be like the first people that she knows in Paris. And what was amazing is that she wanted to find her family in Brazil. So like the first match I made connected 2 families apart, and that was awesome. And that's when I knew I want to have an impact around me, and I want to help people, and I want to tell the good stories. And I think through VCs, through entrepreneurship, we can tell the good stories. Yes.
The power of serendipity is quite fascinating, and yet connecting people together is it's quite powerful. I've been doing it for a while with masterminds, and it's always cool. Events are somewhat complicated though, because it's like physical stuff. Me, I've always done like virtual stuff. The physical event I organized was 7 years ago at the launch of a supplement company of mine. And that was kind of headache producing, finding the permits for this and that, the alcohol and
Yeah.
so forth. And nowadays I'm organizing my wedding, so I'm getting back into it, and it's
Your
not that painful. Yeah, my wedding. But it is complex, and it is like somewhat outside my comfort zone. What do you think about like organizing virtual events? Have you done these, and have you been successful doing those?
Yes, yes. So what I was telling you before is that I started with events. I introduced this idea to a hackathon for students, and it was really a learning experience. So after, when I went to the student organization for entrepreneurship, I organized hackathon because I already practiced before, and it was nice to be like in the side of like participant and also in the side of organizer with other hackathon. And like we were connecting engineering student, business student, design students, and it was really good experience. And we organized a lot of hackathon after that, and I participate in hackathon also. And the hackathon that you told me that it was virtual, it was during COVID. So we had a lot of students in our organization, and we wanted to use all this like good, like all these brains for good. And then we found the idea of Hack the Crisis. So it was a international initiative run by Hack the Crisis, and we wanted to be the first in France to run Hack the Crisis France. So we contacted them and we asked like how they did, and they told us how they did, and we just ran the hackathon virtually, and it was really amazing because all the people, because it was COVID, were at home, like students, professors, like everyone. So it was not only a hackathon, but it was also a social experience.
And how long did that one lasted? Why do you like hackathons? Because in my opinion, it's just reuniting a bunch of talented folks in one room to solve a problem. So we put like top energy to crack the code, sort of. Why do you like doing those?
It was not only about coding. It was like all the people who wants to be involved in building solution to fight COVID. It was solution in social, health, environment. I don't remember actually, but I think we can find on internet. And the idea was to connect people that were at home, that have skills. It was maybe coding, maybe it was design, maybe it was business, like all the people who want to participate. And we were like 700 participants. And we organized in 3 weeks with zero budget. But everyone wanted to help us, so we were like reaching to cooperate, to everyone wanted to be partner of this initiative. So on LinkedIn, you at this moment, like it was all Hack the Crisis France, because all the people was writing LinkedIn post about that, say, okay, I support this initiative, I will be participant, I'm a sponsor, I blah 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 blah. So all the people, so it was really good, and we found some hacks to connect people together. We used Discord. We used another platform called Agorize to put all the projects, and through Discord, we organized like meme challenge. We created a radio with all the music so they can like work in the night, and we were like rolling in the night so we can like talk to the participants and stuff. So yeah, it was amazing. Like the spirit of the virtual hackathon was amazing. And it was the first challenge because after that, in my company, which at the moment was Paris Dauphine Incubator, we had to organize a hackathon because every year they run a hackathon. And I was confident in myself to do it online because I already did it with Hack the Crisis friends. And Hack the Crisis was a bit long because we had so many projects. So we had like jury in 2 parts. The first part was just the pitch deck, like some like just really short pitch deck. So they were like rating the pitch deck online, and after the best pitch deck, after they were like coaching from a pitch expert, and they were like pitching online in real on YouTube live during everyone in front of everyone on YouTube with a really good jury.
So what came out of that? What was the outcome? What was the result?
The result that people had hope at the end. There were some people were like really alone at home, and like because we connected people, they didn't feel they were alone for 1 week, more 3 days, but because it was like in 2 parts, like the spirit stayed for 2 weeks, and we organized this in only 3 weeks. So I think also the outcome is that with technology, we can actually do everything. Like we don't have limits. It's not because you don't have budget that you can't do something. So I think this is a really good learning also for entrepreneurs, because if you want to solve the world, do it now. Like don't wait.
Right,
And
I love that.
The connection and startup
Yes.
ecosystem connection. So we build a lot of connection, and like also as a learning experience, build
Yeah,
connection is.
I think that's why folks love hackathon, you know, and yeah, that was a pretty cool initiative. Tell me about what you do nowadays with G Venture. What's your model there?
Our model? Okay, so G Ventures is a student VC fund. So we invest in student ambitious founders, but students don't invest. We have like students that we found in the campus, in universities, that are really good at connecting, at connecting with their peers, at finding the best talent in their schools. So we select them and we train them with top investors, with like sourcing, analyzing, supporting startup, and they detect the best student founders in their school. So after we can invest in the fund, but they really have an eye on the analyze and which startup we will invest.
Right. So how do you make money out of this?
It's a VC fund, so like it's a traditional model of the VC fund. It's the 2% and 20%.
Okay, so if they find a good deal, they get paid 2 to 20%. Can you help me with that, like precisely?
No, they don't get paid directly, but we have, you know, the 20% carried interest. We will take a little from this and we will give to them after that. We're working on that, so we can do that because legally we have to work on that. It's really important. But yes, this will be the perfect model.
Okay, so basically you raise funds for, no, wait, let me start again. So you connect with VCs that agree that if you bring them a deal, you will get 2 to 20% of what they invested in that startup. And then you pay the students that found the deal after the deal is done. Obviously, also these students, they gain top experience from working with you. They understand how the game works and so forth. So is that like the model here?
Almost.
What am I
Almost.
missing?
Yeah, the student came for the experience, the connection with top students in the other schools, and also they want to learn the VC side, but it's also to be a good entrepreneur. So we found that some students in our program built startup with other students that they made in the program. Like I had a call like maybe 3 days ago with a student that told me that is building a SaaS SaaS tool with a student that he was working during our program, and before that he had like no entrepreneurship experience, but we trust in him, we trust in his talent, and I think we were right. So I can't wait to see what will happen. And to answer you about the model. So we have the VC fund, and we have also organization like association. So we can do that because in France it's really important. It's not really the same in America. Like student VC fund in America, they don't need this legal side, but we need this in France. And so the students work with the association, and we are working to give them one of our carried and to be 1 to 2% for the scout and 4% for the VC analyst. This will be the perfect model, but it's not done yet.
And can you tell me about the roles of the scout and the analysis? Basically the scout brings the founder and the model to the person that does the analysis, so the analyst, and the analyst just sit down with like all of these startups, analyzes the opportunity, the market, the potential product market fit, the total addressable market, and comes back with a yes, this is interesting, or no, this is not, and then he forwards the deal to VCs. Is that how it works?
Yes, and we present also deals to our advisory board that are really important for us. And yes, that's what is going. So we invest 50K to 250K for less than 10% equity. And we coach them also for the fundraising. And after like 5 months, we have other investors who come to invest another round.
Right. The advisors, tell me about their role. So advisors, they get paid to give advice, even in like pre-seed companies?
No, they don't get paid to advise us. They advise us because they trust in us, trust in our model. And they also have an eye to best student funders to also maybe invest after with their fund. But it's not only that, because we have one investor from France, one investor from BPI, and we have the managing partner, co-founder from a student VC from Canada. So
because typically like advisors and startups here, they get paid on a monthly basis to advise a company, you know.
yeah,
Some of them have equity. Is that what you're mentioning here? It's like pure equity in exchange of their time?
no, they don't get equity for now, for the moment.
So what's the deal for them?
They see the good talent before everyone else, and they want to help us actually.
So they do that for free, to give back and potentially for exposure.
Yes, give back, exposure, and have access to good deal with early.
Okay, interesting. That is pretty cool. Why have you focused or decided to focus on students? What problem do you see there, and how are you trying to help?
So there are many reasons to that. As I told you, we were student founders with my partner. I've worked personally with student founders like for a lot of time in my life. When I was in the school, like with the student organization, with the Paris Dauphine incubator for 2 years. So for me, it was like natural to help other student founders. And also because I found that student founders, they are everywhere. They are not only in Paris Dauphine incubator or only Paris Dauphine University. I told you I wanted to help them more that I was doing with just some advice. And I found that they need this small amount of money early on so they can build great things, and after other investors can come and invest with us.
I also think there's a problem with student this market with AI and GPT. It's making the transition harder and harder in this market because GPT is kind of 7 on 10, you know, and students start at like 6 on 10 in this market. How do you think, or well, yeah, what ways can students adapt to this wave of new AI products?
That's a good question. I think that we have to, like, AI is everywhere. And I use this also for my artistic life because I'm a singer and pianist, and I'm trying to write a song with ChatGPT, and it's good, but we can't use everything. So I think ChatGPT is good for brainstorming and helping to be faster in our thought. But I think using only this, I think it's not good. I think we have to put our personal in that. Even imagine also investment memo. Imagine you put all the pitch deck in the to ChatGPT and you ask for an investment memo. Everyone will do the same investment memo. So there is not the personal gut feeling from the investor. So I think it's good like for the structure and like maybe for mails and stuff. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think human is really important. Like as for music, like we can't have the music only run by AI because it's not personal, it's not storytelling, it's not us. And the same for VC and entrepreneurs, if everyone do the same. Yeah, I think we need human.
You're right. Yeah, because coming back to, you know, like numbers, if I'm tired, my brain is tired. Well, I'm different. I think my baseline is higher than 7 on 10, even if I'm tired. But let's say that I'm in this really crappy state, you know, I'm in like a 6 on 10 state, I'm drunk or something. If I use GPT is 7 on 10. So it will produce a 7 on 10 output, even if I'm 6 on 10. But yeah, like it depends on your state. And it's not only about being drunk. It's like maybe if I suck at, I don't know, writing a blog post, I'm like 6 on 10, GPT will be a 7 on 10. So it will carry me. There's also the aspect of momentum, right, in productivity. So if you use it to actually produce an output, it's like, oh, check in my mind. If I get a check in my mind, that's serotonin, and that might push me to take that, write something else that's better, and give me momentum to get going, which is also very powerful. So I think that's how students need to use it. They still need to think for themselves. It's still valuable in 2023 to be analytical and have your own opinion, be able to think critically. But yeah, very insightful tool for sure. It's pretty much changing the market, and I think every student should use the tool.
Yes, that's right. But it also depends on the input you ask to ChatGPT. So it depends on all the questions you ask. And I recently found a really, really good prompt that asking ChatGPT to ask me all the questions that it needs to write the better prompts. And I ask for the role, I ask for the context, I ask for the source. So I put everything. And this is more human, but it still needs to correct it after that with personal stuff. But I think this kind of prompt is good. So we have to learn about prompt engineering.
Yes.
And use it wisely, and not every time, or we need to add personal touch every time.
Send me that prompt. Yeah, I'm also deep into that nowadays. And yes, you need to ask it the right question to get a better answer. The lengthier, the more detail oriented it is, the better. Thank you so much, Julie, for showing up today. Where can people find out more about you?
They can find more about me on LinkedIn. I'm starting to write a lot on LinkedIn about startup building, Gen Z, like new phase of generation, like all the people I met that are incredible. When I go to meeting, I take a picture, I take a selfie, and I write about them if they're happy. And we're starting to double post. So I write a post and the other person write a post about me. So I think it's really good because, as I told you, everything is connecting. So this helped to have other connection after that. So yes, you can find me on LinkedIn, on the Ventures website. If you're a student and you want to talk about your startup, I would be happy to talk about that. And just one thing, I wanted to tell something, but I forgot. But now I have. Can I tell it?
Yeah, go ahead.
It was about why the students. I remember that when I was in Paris Dauphine Incubator, one of the team founder I was coaching went to a business angel meeting, and when he came back, he said, "Oh my God, this business angel don't know everything about what I do.
Yeah,
It's really like
anything
for us, and we want people like peer people that knows what we are doing."
right.
So investing in Gen Z entrepreneurs, in new generation, it's important to have young people also for that because we can connect with your peer.
Very important. Yeah, you can't, not all capitals is equal, you know. Well, it is equal, but it's the best capital comes with advice from experienced folks. And if you get folks that invested in you and don't have a clue and are asking for your KPIs and just don't know what you're doing or trying to accomplish, then that's a waste of energy and time. So thank you for that last tip. So everyone, that was Julie Leroy. You can find her that way on LinkedIn. I'm Charles Cormier, host, Founder Wisdom Podcast, VC Wisdom Podcast. If you want to start, scale, or be invited to a podcast, that would be podfire.com. Thank you so much, Julie.